Hey everybody. Yeah, been a good few weeks so far. Been having a lot of fun painting, but then I also realized my channel name is the Dusty DM. Should probably pass on some good old country wisdom about how to run RPGs. So today we're going to talk about the fun, ridiculous, oh god, anybody that's a skilled veteran, you're going to think that I'm being boring. Promise I'm not. Low-level encounters. What is a low-level encounter, you ask? New guy who happened to stumble here, I assume? Well, a low-level encounter is something that's going to happen to your party that you're running for. Low-level encounter is going to happen early in the game. Look, graph paper. Neat. Low-level encounters usually cave spiders. Couple of orcs. Just weird stuff. Town guard. You know, they're always fun. My favorites? Yeah, absolutely. I think low-level encounters are something that can be, for the sake of game building, one of the most important parts of setting a tone for your campaign through good habits. What do I mean by good habits? Excuse me, Admiral Brushcup, you're in my way. Good habits when it comes to being a DM are not looking at your player and presenting them with minor key information that in a manner that is, yeah, you remember I said blankety blank blank blank, not having to retcon. It sounds like a monstrous task, I'm sure. It's not. And the way that it's not a giant task when it comes to running a game is just being attentive as the DM to when you're about to run an encounter, making sure that you're not worrying about florid descriptive language. It's fine that you do. That's fine. But don't make that your priority. What you can do instead, what to make a good habit of, is to pick a small detail and make sure that you're finding a way to either slip it in, like that Black Flag song, or finding a way to make sure that it's coming across almost subtly here. So this example is going to cover a few encounters leading up to the big point. All right. So you have a party of 5, whatever. Party of 4. Your party is out camping. You're doing some wilderness exploration. They're going from town to town. The next town is where this thing is going to culminate. This idea. So one night, as your party is camping, they hear the sound of wagon wheels. And they hear the chittering of lizard folk. It happens all the time. All the time. It's almost like lizard folk are just pedestrians in GTA. But as the party goes to investigate, let's say the rogues stealths up to the road from their campsite and looks at the road. What they find is these fellas, right? They find a pack of kobolds that, now that my colorblind ass is actually sitting in the correct light, can tell are the same colors. There's a pack of kobolds leading whatever animal, it doesn't matter, leading a wagon with a cage on it. Good job, lizard folk, not fitting into my WizKid's cage. So, got these guys. Kobolds. they're pulling a wagon that has a cage on it. Whatever happens during the encounter, more than likely the party is going to they're going to notice, because you've told them, that this pack of 3 kobolds are leading an ox that's pulling a cart. And you notice, with your perception roll, or you just notice in general, that the kobolds leading the pack, they are this orangey yellow, whatever color I've painted them. And as the party looks into the cage, they notice that the kobold that is trying to make chittering noises through a gag in its mouth, it's blue-skinned. Leave it there. That's it. Right? That's all that took. Speaking of the chittering of lizard people, there's my cat. Hi, Brian. So, the encounter plays out however it plays out, but you have planted that little seed of that kobold was blue that was in the cage. So not only have you added to your list of important things that you're trying to get across, something blue is what you're after. Something blue is what you're building towards. You know that as the DM. The players don't know that. That's fine. But you've already put that seed in their head. Not only that, if you take a moment to understand that there are kobolds of different skin color, as a DM, you've just realized that you've built lore in your world without sitting and just mindlessly soliloquizing at the beginning of a film. The Fellowship of the Ring. Sorry. Either case, you haven't sat and just flatly put that information out. Hey, look at that. Kobolds. The ones in the front, they were a different color than the one in the cage. What's that mean? Well, it means there's tribalism going on in the lizard community. And that's great. And you've built that detail into your world so that at any point that becomes necessary to expose, say your players happen to get invited to a lizard folk wedding, you don't have to sit and give them a 45-minute exposition of why that's possible. You've established it just through one encounter, and you established it in the most minor way possible. That's good DMing. That's efficient writing, and you can do that on the fly with any detail that you need. The blue is just the example that I'm going to give you. So let's not argue that fact endlessly. It's okay. So the next encounter, party gets close to town. It's a fortified town. There's a traveler's inn and bar outside of the gates. Okay? And as they're in the bar, this encounter, a social encounter, is one where, as they sit at the bar, they're approached by a member of the guild. The guild of what? Doesn't matter. But what does matter is that member of the guild, whether it be Thieves Guild, Stonecutters Guild, Blacksmiths Guild, the Economic Guild, the Guild for a Better Fucking Neighborhood, whatever you want it to be, they're wearing something that's blue. Not their entire outfit. They don't need to look like Merlin. You don't need to do that just to get this point across. Just, oh, this theater guild member, this Bjarl, it's like Carl with a BJ in it, like your mom. He's wearing this beautiful satin red pointed hat, and from it, he's got a what could be cockatrice feather sticking out 4 feet behind him. That is this lovely spectrum from white at the very base where the quill enters the hat, all the way to the end where it's a beautiful cerulean blue. It sounds like it has nothing to do with anything, right? That's good DMing. That's good improv. Finding little ways to get that through. That's all that takes. It's not hard. It doesn't take a 4-hour debate on railroading versus sandbox to figure out, yeah, you're planting little clues through these encounters. Whether they be social, whether they be combat, whether they be puzzles. It doesn't matter. But that's how that encounter goes. And they spend the night at the inn, blah, blah, blah. They agree to do whatever it is Bjarl wanted, right? They need a crew of folks to help rebuild the amphitheater or something goofy like that. Doesn't matter. The thing is that these little tidbits will make it so that you don't have to sit and fight with a logical brain over whether you said it before or not. If you reiterate a little detail, by the time that little detail comes to fruition, it's going to be this beautiful click. It's going to click for everybody. It'll click for some earlier than others. If you run these 2 encounters within, say an array of 5 encounters, there's other stuff that happens on the road. There's a random encounter with orcs. You don't say anything about it, but your more logic puzzle based players are probably going to pick up on it pretty early. That's okay. Your other players, probably not. It's okay. Either case. So we end up at the next one, which is the party now goes in. They're helping. They've met Bjorl the next morning. It's sunrise in the town of Notward, and they're at the amphitheater, and they're rebuilding the benches that were destroyed during a rainstorm. Whatever, so be it. Well, during that time, the captain of the guard comes. He's got a few men with him. And it seems that Bjarl had been out a few nights earlier and might have been on the lam a little bit. No biggie. But as the captain of the guard starts to get a shit fit with Bjarl over needing to arrest him and them having been old friends since childhood, etc., that's fine. But Bjarl, in his last moment before going down to meet the heavy clank of the stockade, looks at, you're the DM. You pick out the player that you know is taking a leadership role. It's pretty easy to discern who is definitely better at I don't want to say diffusing information. That's not the correct. Delineating information, or the person that is more into let's just go fucking do it. In that time, Bjarl hands that player the blue bandana that was on his arm. Doesn't say anything about it, just hands it to him. Says, here, take care of this. That's it. Cool. That's the third one. It's a low-level encounter. Even if, for whatever reason, you randomly roll or your party decides to go nuts and fight the captain of the guard and fight the guards for whatever reason. Maybe Bjarl has a great personality in this game. You never know. He could be wonderful. Brian could be just chewing me up while I record. You're real good at that, cat. Brian, please let me go. Thank you. It doesn't matter. In either case, the whole thing is you're gonna give them a bandana. That's lovely. If they get in a fight with the guard, whatever, you throw them in the clink for the night. That's where they spend the next night while they do all this fun stuff. Right? Nothing major. So the overall culmination of these little details through these encounters comes to your party ending up standing in Hero's Rest, right? Cemetery, beautiful, beautiful mausoleum to the hero of the realm, Nicole's Craft Studio acrylic paint. And he's got this beautiful, beautiful monument mausoleum that he built himself on top of the hill in the center of this cemetery. And down below there are headstones for the shield hands, and there are tiny little mausoleums for whoever's more important than shield hands. I don't know. Other combatants, I guess, because this guy was kind of an asshole. This Nicole's Craft Studio acrylic paint. He was a real pain in the dick. Just had his head up his own ass sometimes. But he was a very skilled fighter. It happens. But yeah, so his some of his legions of swordsmen that died in battle with him, unless he saw it, you know, if he saw them die next to him, yeah, they get a spot there. If they didn't, then he'd be a real pedantic bitch about it and be like, no, you didn't die for me. And then they'd be buried wherever they lay. Who cares? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that they end up here at the monument of Nicole's Craft Studio acrylic paint. And as they pass through this beautiful, beautiful, my favorite fucking low-level encounter, they pass through the cobblestone streets, the cobblestone walkways of the cemetery, and as they progress in, even in daytime, if this happens, they progress in far enough, a mist befalls the entire cemetery. And out from these tiny little hut-style mausoleums shambles these zombies that are wearing old, ragged, rusted to pieces, but still visible, crested breastplates. And on that breastplate is this beautiful blue cockatrice hammered in, just fantastically done. Right? So you attack your party with zombies, and you do it smart, so that they don't die from the zombies. After that's all said and done, as all these points come together, they coalesce around this large, singular, domed fountain, mausoleum, whatever, it doesn't matter. This building at the center of these walkways, you'll see on the map that I posted on Instagram. It's a puzzle. And what they're staring at is this roundy, this roundy, this roundy, and this roundy. Here's some posts. Here's some posts, right? This guy, these guys, they all have these rows of gems. And guess what? There are 4 gems on each of these roundies in the posts. And the 4 colors are black, green, yellow, blue. Right? And they're all out of order. As the players investigate, this one is black, blue, yellow, green. And this one is something different than that. And this one is something different from that. And so is this, and so is this, and so is this. Actually, these top 2 would be the same. So black, yellow, green, blue. Right? Black, yellow, blue, green. Let's write it down so that I don't keep screwing this up. Black, yellow, blue, green. And in here is water. Look at this water. It looks like water. So that would be black, yellow, blue, green. Now these two out of 4, are in a similar pattern. So what do you think if this one is yellow, blue? I feel dumb because I just made this up, but yellow, blue, green. What? Yellow, black, green, blue, etc. The party's going to look at you and they're going to say, well, I go to pick up one of these gemstones. You're going to say, burns your hand. Burn your hand. You can't touch it. For whatever reason, the force around this thing, it causes you 1d10 damage. You make that shit up on the fly, just like I'm doing right now for this whole thing. Why do you think your party has that blue bandana? It's imbued with magic, so they can pick up and maneuver these stones exactly where they go. It's the other part of the puzzle. It's the B to the A. That bandana makes it possible to move these stones. And once all 4 sets of stones are in the same order, then the water flushes away, exposing a set of stairs that lead down to Nicole's Craft Studio Acrylic Paint's final resting place, where you stop giving them small encounters and you give them a slightly big, bad, evil guy to fight. Once they're done fighting him, reward him with something. I made all of that up just now. But that's what it takes, and that's what you guys need to focus on when it comes to prepping for game sessions. You can take these and make these encounters knights. You can make them goblins, kobolds, zombies, ghouls, thieves, bandits on the road. The point is to ensure that what you're doing is giving little bits, because the little bits are what's going to click with your party's mind, that they're still there, when you take 4 or 5 encounters that have a small minor detail that are all connected, it's going to help your players keep their purchase in your world, in your game. It's going to help keep their mind in the game, and it's because it's innate. Their brain is processing something that is so subtle they don't even know it. They're going to look at you and they're going to think, I can't believe that for the first time DMing, your improv is amazing. It could be. I have my doubts. But that mechanic of taking a low-level encounter and putting a little bit of importance to it is going to keep it from feeling like just a game. It's going to give purchase in the world from the go. And when your party comes to that puzzle that you've planned out beforehand, they're not going to sit for 4 hours trying to figure it out. You're not going to have to spend 1,000 hours making a player aid so that a puzzle is fun, you've already planted the instruction. You've already put the pieces in place. Just through blue. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Interaction is always dope. Follow me on Facebook if you want. Dusty DM on Facebook. Also on Instagram. Yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think. Low-level encounters can be full of tropes. For me, that's kind of a fun thing. I sort of like it that way. But I'm also a silly fucking human. It happens. But you can also make sure that from the start of a campaign, from the start of even a night playing with bringing in a group of randos and trying to establish a plot line through 4 hours of play in small encounters with large numbers of low-level monsters, you can do it. And it's kind of easy. You just have to give it a little thought beforehand. All right, we'll see you guys next time.